What's good to the tribe? It's Wanaghi. Wanted to stop by and kind of drop a couple clips off to you guys. But before we start, stop, hit the like button. And I appreciate you guys. Hope everybody's feeling safe, secure, and as healthy as can be. But what we're talking about today is Africans and how they kind of view us, or where they get their views from when they see quote unquote African Americans, blacks, or whatever you want to call yourself, how they see us, what they learn about us. And in this clip, shout out to this Nigerian lady for actually putting her thoughts on video for people to see and understand her or Nigerians' point of view, how they see quote unquote African Americans. And in these clips, she's going to talk about that she didn't know she was black. Nigerians don't deal in black and white or race like that. Then she's going to give a view of how she sees African Americans in America and our story. A lot of people think this transatlantic slave story is just taught to everybody, and it's not. We get it a lot here because we're in America and it's supposed to deal with us. But other than that, real Africans don't really know what's going on. It's not a story passed on to them from generation to generation. So let's see how she learned about her actual blackness. Let's get it.
I am not a black person. I am just Ivie, Anita. So we don't identify with race here. We don't go to the bank and then the bank is asking to tick boxes of what race we are. Race is not a thing in Nigeria. It's not a thing in Africa. But then of course I can say the same thing about South Africa. For example, we don't read the newspaper and then something went down, probably a crime or something, and then they are describing the criminal and then they say, oh, he was a black dude, 6 feet tall, this and this. Like, in Nigeria, I am not a black person. I am just Ivie, Anita. So we don't identify with race here. We don't go to the bank and then the bank is asking to tick boxes of what race we are. Race is not a thing in Nigeria. It's not a thing in Africa. But then of course I can say the same thing about South Africa. For example, we don't read the newspaper and then something went down, probably a crime or something, and then they are describing the criminal and then they say, oh, he was a black dude, 6 feet tall, this and this. Like, race is just not a thing here. People are just walking around being people. They go by their name, they go by what they do, they go by if they're married. That's how we identify. We do not identify using race. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of story here about myself and how I knew about my blackness, because I did not know I was black. I did not know I was black till I was 18, 19. And this happened on the internet. That was how I knew I was black. I knew I was black from the internet. Okay, so this fateful day, I've always been someone who loves to surf the internet, who's always online reading. Don't give me an actual book, give me a PDF, because I'm not going to open an actual book. Never. So I've always been someone who's online reading, clicking here and there, always clicking and clicking. I just hope I never get into trouble clicking stuff in the future. This fateful day, I was reading online. I cannot remember what I was reading, but you know how you get those pop-up ads that will direct you to other sites. But let's just call it a pop-up write-up. Okay, so I clicked on it and then it took me to this page, and then for the first time in my life I was reading in English, but I could not understand. If you guys don't know, Nigeria's official language is English language. Yes, we have our own different tribal languages, but the official language of the country is English language. So we learn in English in school, we write exams in English. So I'm fluent in English. I've been speaking English since I was a baby. From like kindergarten, we've been learning in English. But then for the first time in my life, I was reading in English and I could not understand a word I was reading. This post was talking about race. I was seeing words like race, discrimination, stereotypes, words I've never seen before in my life. Understand the post, understand and who are, and trying to figure out exactly what's going on with the concept of hatred as regards to skin color and discrimination that has to do with skin color. I went down the rabbit hole reading, and I read a lot about African American history. So my story is quite similar to Chimamanda's story. Now fast forward to after finding out about my blackness, it was something I accepted immediately. So in the past, people were not aware of their blackness. Me finding out about my blackness a couple of years back, the way I did, is quite different from how people are finding out about their blackness now, because people are now more aware of and race and the different classes that exist, and now everybody knows exactly where they fall into. From Chimamanda's story, we can see that it goes, pretty aligned with these comments right here. When she went to America, she didn't know she was black. So when people call her black, she was quick to say how she's not black, say she's Nigerian or say she's African, because she doesn't understand the concept of blackness. But that changed for her when she got to know and understand the concept of blackness, and she went into reading. If we look at the time frame of when Chimamanda was going to America, and then at the same time, and even prior to that time, other Africans were going to America. They were all going not knowing they were black. So of course, when you tell them they are black or you call them black, they are going to tell you that they are not black because they are not black where they are coming from. But that's different now, because the concept of blackness have traveled. Now Africans are more aware of their blackness. I mean, they are not as aware, but they are more aware. So somehow you just know that this is the group I fall under, the black group. But even though in your present environment like Nigeria, you're not walking around being black, you are aware that you are a black person.
So you can see, she learned about her blackness on the internet, which is crazy. You don't know you're black until you start searching and hitting search engines and everything else, and then you learn that you're black, are supposed to be black, which we're not black, and we all know this. But this is the propaganda that's sent across the world. And let's talk about how they learn about our history. Let's get it.
I'm still trying to process that information. Coincidentally, my dad came home this particular day. I mean, as the universe will have it, he came with the 4 parts of Roots, and then he made it compulsory that we're all going to watch Roots. So we sat down as a family, we watched Roots, all 4 parts of Roots, we watched Roots as a family. And then I became more aware of watching Kunta Kinte was how I got an idea of what the transatlantic slave trade actually was like. Back then in school, they didn't really go in depth teaching us about the transatlantic slave trade. What they told us was, yeah, it happened, but then it ended. So they didn't go in depth. I just thought, yeah, it happened, but thank God it came to an end. And now when I see African Americans on TV, I'm like, yeah, they are doing great. So I was judging how African Americans were living and doing off of TV. And when I saw them on TV, they look happy. Everybody looked like they were living together, black, white, Asian, and all that. I'm like, oh, it's a very colorful world. Everybody's happy there. I didn't know that something like all that were existing. So when I found out about the post, I was like, what is happening?
As you can see, her father brought home the series Roots, of all things, to show them, to actually give them our story, our history. Roots of all things. So it's funny to me how people are still spewing this transatlantic garbage. And I'm not saying Africans didn't come here on boats, but it definitely wasn't the numbers they speak of. It wasn't the numbers they speak of. We were already here. A lot of us were. This is a Negro continent. And until people realize that, they're just going to be lost in the sauce, and we'll never get our story back. But I love you guys. Make sure you put in the comments how you feel. Make sure you guys support the channel. Fellas up, tribe up, wise up, rise up.